What's going on, Donnies and Donettes? Come on, it's another episode of the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Yes. Guys, on today's episode, we have another amazing guest. We just keep bringing it. It's just becoming standard procedure. You know what I'm saying? Today, we have the man himself, Euan, other known as Shade of Sax, and he's come on to chat about his story and also the energy that he brings to shows. If you've seen this guy, some of you must have seen. If you've seen this guy's Instagram, or you've had the pleasure of seeing him live, energy is an understatement. And one thing I love is people that sell energy when it comes to events. Because me, that's what I'm in. I'm in the business of selling energy. You might as well call me Red Bull or British Gas. I sell energy more than I sell anything else. And he does the same thing. So I thought I'd bring him on for a quick chit chat. In this talk, we're going to find out about his origin story, and we're going to find out about USPs, standing out, looking different, and what that benefits that brings to a company or a brand. Obviously, as always, the pros and cons with working with other DJs, and where is the belly of the work coming from? Guys, this guy is getting over 1,000 inquiries, man. 1,000, like in what? What? How? We need to know. So we're going to chop it up right here on the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. But before we get into that, we got to give a big shout out to all my patrons. Big shout out to all my patrons. You're keeping this running, you're keeping the lights on, and you're helping us do small upgrades just like this. Look at this little upgrade, guys. Nothing major. Small steps get there, but I got myself one of these with a little nice, the little, yeah, shout out to my patrons. You're making it happen, guys. Love and appreciation every single time. If you'd like to become a patron, head to the link in the description and sign up, man, for a small donation every single month. It helps us coming. If you're getting value from these episodes, feel free to sponsor, or you can obviously sponsor for free by sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. But anyway, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get into this episode because it's going to be a banger. Roll the sexy intro. My days, guys, look who I have beside me. It's Shades of Sax. What are you saying, Euan?
I'm excited,
bro.
I'm looking forward to this.
No, man, this is good, man. This is so good. Like, because like I've said off record, like I said to you, I remember, guys, if you haven't seen this guy is. I remember when I first saw you on my Instagram, and I was like, the energy you was belting out. I'm like, this guy's on the stage, he's giving it with the jacket and the glasses. I was like, man, this guy's not holding back. And then, not long afterwards, I then bumped into Christix.
Yeah, that's right, Christix.
Christix is giving it well intense. He's there with the hair. And then I said to myself, somehow, some way, it'd probably be a corporate because they've got the budgets. But somehow, some way, I'm going to get myself, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get Christix, and we are going to do some crazy, energetic performance for some audience. So somehow it's going to happen. You just leave with me.
It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
I'm sure when you messaged me that you said we'd just look like a bunch of nutters. And I think that's like the best way to summarise it.
Yeah.
But the whole wedding would go crazy.
Yeah,
or
it would
go. Corporate event or whatever it
is.
Doesn't matter. Any event, it would just blow up.
It would go. It will be insane. So I'm gonna try my best to make that happen, because I think just content wise, and like you said, for the people that are there, they're gonna be like, "What was that?" It's like, "What? All those guys nuts?" I said, "Yeah, bro. Yeah, they were." Yeah, yes, exactly what it was, and it went off like that. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that in the ether and say one day it's gonna definitely happen. Guys, man, I have got so much I want to talk to you about in terms of if you've seen him online, then you know what I'm talking about: the energy, the performance, the USP, the glasses, the jacket, the things that he does, all the things we're gonna get into really, really, really shortly. But before we start, Shades, I'm going to call you Shades actually instead of you, and I'm going to call you Shades.
Yeah,
so before we start, Shades, I want to know kind of like, obviously we can see you can play, we can see you got USP, you got the energy, but when did this all start? When did your music sort of influence begin? Was this from primary school, secondary school? Was this family? When did this happen?
Yeah, primary school. I've played music since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And I sing as well. So
whoa, you sing as well?
Yeah. It's not coming out, but singing was one of the first. Singing was one of the first things that I kind of ended up doing.
Okay.
I think the way that I stumbled into this was I sung "Hey Baby" at a Millennium party.
Okay.
That's how it first started. And then when I was there, the leader of our local jazz group was like, boy needs an instrument. He needs to learn to play. It's just in him.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad kind of said, well, listen, he wants to play saxophone, but he doesn't want to do the whole clarinet thing. He doesn't want to do all that kind of stuff. He just loves the attraction of the saxophone. She's like, right, cool, fine. He's going to skip clarinet and we'll just go straight to sax, which isn't quite the way it's meant to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But look where we are. So I'm really grateful that ended up happening.
Yeah, it worked. So it doesn't really matter about
Yeah.
how it's meant to be, but it worked for you.
Yeah.
So that's all good. So you're saying singing was first before you went into saxophone. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I did like choral singing and things. So I
Mm-hmm.
did a thing with like a group called NICOS, the National Youth Choir of Scotland up here.
Okay.
I did a little bit just beginning to sing. Then I got saxophone at the same time, and then piano quickly followed. And I kind of kept up most of those instruments all the way through to university.
Mm-hmm.
Went and did music at university. Singing was my first instrument, saxophone second. And then went through uni and then came out, and like life is, I had to quickly learn to teach or do other things. So I did secondary music teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing that I didn't like about that was that before I got into the whole teaching thing, I was in rock bands, I was doing jazz bands, I was doing soul bands,
Mm-hmm.
I was just immersed into all sorts of choral singing, opera singing. I did all kinds of different music.
Wow.
And then when I got into the teaching aspect at secondary music, I didn't love it. I was like working the Monday to Friday and then thinking I cannot be bothered doing anything on the weekends. The thing that I really got into it for, because I was doing the sort of 9 to 5 grind in the schools or before that, and then also would have marking, assessment, I'd have after school groups, all that kind of stuff through the week. And I just wanted to take a breath when I got to the weekend. So I did a sort of full circle just even after a year of that, did primary teaching, and then realised it gave me back the time to pick up my instruments and do other stuff and pick up the weekends again. And then I sort of stumbled into weddings.
Okay, so like when you was working inside the schools, like was you like a music teacher when you was doing secondary school? Was people calling you sir and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it was. So secondary was music,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I went into primary, it was peripatetic. So
What is that?
basically
What's that?
everything, every type of topic. So you could be doing maths, you could be doing science,
Oh,
you could be doing
okay.
literacy, you
Okay.
could be doing a bit of music, drama, RE, you name it, we do it.
Mm-hmm,
PE,
mm-hmm.
all of that. But I enjoyed that because the kids were so enthusiastic and they were
Yeah.
so willing to learn. And then it also snowballed into the music aspect where they were still really interested in me doing my stuff and interested in a bit of music. And we did almost that once a week. So it was great. And it left me the enthusiasm to do all my music stuff in my own time as well. It
Yeah.
kind of re-gave me that enthusiasm and sort of reignited it, I guess you could argue. So that
Yeah.
was great. It was
Okay.
brilliant.
Because I think like similar to what you're saying, like especially with musicians, there comes a point when you need to start earning, and then
Yeah.
especially if you want to keep doing it, because the worstest thing is if you have a passion or you've got skill, but you find yourself doing something totally different, like like all of us, we've all had some of those mundane jobs where we're like working at Tesco's or Sainsbury's or just doing something just so you're earning. But it's much better when you can do something that you're passionate about and then do it as well. So then teaching then becomes an option. But like with what you're saying, especially I feel like with secondary schools, I used to work in secondary schools as a counsellor, and I used to see some of the stresses from the teachers and some of the work that they used to do. There was one woman, she was passionate, English teacher, she was passionate about the kids, and but the hours she used to put in, I used to be like, no, you've got no life yourself, like and then like you're saying, she's marking in the school and she's taking marking home and she's doing this, and on the weekend she's doing something else. I'm like, where is your time? She's like, I've got no time. So I think something needs to change within the secondary schools, especially in terms of teachers' hours and teachers' pay, because I don't think it reflects.
It
makes
doesn't.
things difficult.
And you're almost your own worst enemy because you're willing to put in as much time as it takes.
Yeah.
To reward the kids for their enthusiasm and deliver good topics and subjects and look after the kids and all that kind of stuff that you do outside of that. So you put in as way beyond what's probably the actual requirement, which is fine because it's of your own doing. Like you're keen to do that, but you're right. At the end of the time, it's like comes back to that whole work-life balance thing. Much. Like I was almost spending Sunday afternoons like doing my marking and assessment and my planning ready for the Monday, and I was like, this isn't part of my 9 to 5 Monday to Friday sort of allocation that I
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
had. And again, it was easier when I did primary.
Yeah.
More because of like everything's consumed by music, which is
Yeah.
funny because now I guess you could still argue that everything's consumed by music, but it's my music. It's the way that I want to do things and
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
want to go out and perform for people and everything. And that's where my passion's always been.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, well, bro, you can see it, Shades. You could definitely see it online. So you went from young, started singing, then you went into college, university, which you did as well, which is all the different. You
Yeah,
was doing the piano, you was doing singing, and you was obviously doing the saxophone and stuff. Then went
yeah.
into schools, then primary schools, and then weddings came in. So do you remember your first wedding? How did that happen from the
So
primary school to the wedding? How did we get there?
so it's funny. When I had done my primary teaching.
Mhm.
I had a kind of gap year, a year before I properly got straight into it.
Okay.
I was still working, doing like support for learning, stuff like that, but I had a bit of a gap and allowed me to proper invest some time into the saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And just purely by chance, I think this is how everything always happens. Purely by chance, a guy who I know, Steve Laird, shout out to Steve Laird, asked if I could do a what was it, like a sort of terrace party
Okay.
here in Dumfries. It was a small restaurant. There were like maybe 30, 40 people there at the first time because he knew I played sax. I was like, cool, come along, do a couple of house tracks and stuff. And that's how I slid into it. And then the restaurant
Oh.
really liked it. They were like, this is awesome. We want you here like maybe once a week. And at that point, you're doing it for nothing. I was like 50 quid for the evening, turning up in my school outfit. I was almost like still teaching people as I'm playing, and doing that set and staying there for like 2-3 hours. So it was like maybe having a drink. It was just round the corner from my house, doing my stint for 50 quid and then making my way back home. But it was brilliant. And it was always, and what the restaurant found was it was just getting busier and busier and busier sort of week on week. So that's how I kind of fell into it. And then I got asked to do someone's wedding at a local venue here as well. And then since then, it just kind of snowballed.
Okay.
And after 3 or 4 weddings, Euan Lawrence reached out, DJ Euan Lawrence,
Yeah.
and was like, "Who are you? And where have you been?
Yeah.
Like, we're missing this for Scotland."
Okay, and that's when then you bumped into you and then joined the Tartan Entertainment family as well.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
one question I've got for you is like, because I know when I speak to some saxophonists, they talk about sort of having a stint doing like bars and clubs and that kind of stuff. But you did you do any of that work at all, or did you kind of
Yeah,
was
I
the
did.
restaurant
I did
sort
do
of
that
that
as well.
stuff? Okay.
No, I did that as well. I did stuff with Revolution and things like that
All
for
right.
a time
Mm-hmm.
through Glasgow and Edinburgh and things like that. I did Aura Dundee, a couple of nightclubs, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, when I went in, I mean, this is how much it changed. I remember that I went into it thinking, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do massive nightclubs and be in front of everyone and be absolute party. And then you kind of see a little bit more of the behind the scenes, man. Like the lack of pay,
Yeah.
the hours you've got to put in,
Yeah.
hanging around for your 2 times half hour within the 4 hour nights. And I'm like, man, it's going to 3 a.m. And the other thing is, with weddings, like people are turning up, but there's like just like an energy and a positivity for the couple, but also they're really excited to see you.
Yeah.
And strangely, nightclubs I didn't find always delivered that. People are turning up because they're going for a night out with their friends and they want to have a drink and a laugh and all that sort of stuff. You're just another background entity, which is fine.
Which is fine.
But it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
That was when I started to realise, actually, I want something else.
Something
I want
different.
a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think something needs to change. I don't know what, obviously, similar to yourself, I've kind of left at the club world, but I remember when I was part of it, and I'm thinking about DJs that come in now, or even performers that come in now, and clubs and bars is like one of the best ways to just once again get started. But the payments that they have and it makes it hard for anyone to kind of grow or do anything like that.
Yeah.
Like you're only making enough that's going to probably last you. When you wake up tomorrow, that money's already gone. Do you know what I mean? There's no way you can invest or
100%.
educate yourself, buy new equipment, like all these kind of things and get better. It's so much more harder in that world. So,
and there were 1 or 2 people that I looked up to that I then had a conversation with, and who were maybe performing in Ibiza or out in other places, Mallorca, whatever it was going to be, and they're doing the clubs.
Yeah.
And then you have that serious conversation with them, and you realise that it's a struggle.
It's a very
They're
big struggle,
struggling like month on month, and at the same time, they're doing these amazing venues like
Yeah,
Cool Beach or
yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
else,
yeah.
and yet coming home and then I've got very, very little for the months on end, and I was like, right, this is definitely not my bag.
Yeah, it's not the way to
I'm
go.
not coming back with less than I left with, you know?
That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I think it's interesting because it's funny that, like, once again, thinking about, like, if we go back years ago, similar to yourself, like what you just said, if I saw a DJ and I'd be like, oh, I would love to be him. I would love, because in your mind, you're imagining what it is. But then when you actually get to know these people and start talking to them and they start telling you stuff and you're like, wow, like on, online, it looks amazing. Like, that's the best job in the world. It's like, yeah, no, the job is fun, but the reason why you see me working every day is because I'm only earning a certain amount. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not sustainable, man. Like, how
Well,
did
that's
that?
right.
Yeah, how can you? And then you start to realize sometimes things look really, really glossy online, but then when you get into the, like you say, in the background of it, you find out that it's not as good as it looks. Really, do you know what I mean?
100%. And
Mm-hmm.
that is life, isn't it? That's like social media puts all the glitz and glam. You only see like the highlight reel of your life through
Yeah.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, all the background stuff is just hidden.
It's just hidden, correct.
And it's interesting when you have those deeper conversations, which I guess is what we're doing today with people, that you realize actually there's a lot more
There's a
to
lot
it,
more to it, yeah.
and sometimes it just doesn't pay off, and it just depends on what you're looking to get out of it, really.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And I think, like, similar to, like I was saying to someone earlier today, is about what you put in is what you get out, which is definitely true. But some of those other guys that are in the club, they put in a lot, but they don't get out as much as I feel that they deserve.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
would
of
agree.
performers, a lot of DJs, and I don't know how, but something needs to change to make it sustainable. Because if it's not sustainable, it's not gonna last. I saw a TikTok actually today, and I think the guy made a really good point. He's a DJ, and he was like, "Oh, DJs' wages need to go up." And what he was saying is that he wasn't just saying, like, because he was saying what's happening with the lower paying people is that
Yeah.
the venues, they then have cheaper DJs, and usually sometimes cheaper performers are not maybe as good as some of the better performers, which now affects the venue, because then people come to the
Yeah.
venue, they're like, the DJ doesn't even know what he's doing, the sax is too loud or it's out of tune, and now the bar is losing work or the venue's losing work, and then it's because of the quality of performer they have. But then if they up the wages, they can have a DJ that knows what they're doing, a performer that knows what they're doing, a singer that knows what they're doing. And like you're saying, similar to the restaurant where you was working before, it's getting busier and busier and busier. It's becoming more popular and makes it better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just not attractive, is
Mm,
the bottom line for high end DJ or high quality performers to
yeah.
do
Mm-hmm.
that kind of work now, especially when you can get so much from corporate and weddings and other things, and it's difficult. And it's really difficult to compete, especially for a nightclub and other things. Because I understand there's so much more that they have to account for in terms of running costs and everything. But you're right, the quality of it's a bit like weddings. When you invest in your DJ, you invest in your performer, and you're paying into that person to make your day. It is literally accounting for half of your wedding day, for
Literally.
example.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
literally,
100%.
or more. And similar for a wedding venue. A venue is only attractive as your DJ, and only as attractive as your performer. We were just over in Bali, and there's like a brand new nightclub, and it's phenomenal. It's called the Iron Fairies. It looks ridiculous, right?
Okay.
And but the DJ, I don't even know who the DJ was, but I was like, bro, you've got it. You're phenomenal. Just the way he sort of read it and put the feelers out for the crowd, and then built it up. And it was really like a
Yeah.
funky soul vibe that really suited the venue. And I was like, they've really thought about this. From
Yeah.
everything from like the sound system to the lighting rig to the DJ that they have in to the dancers that they have. That they've just really, really
Gone for it.
really gone for it and not spared any expense. And it's paying off. It seems like everybody knows about it. This
Yeah.
venue,
And
bar me. When I stumbled on it, I was like, "How does everyone know that?" And I was the last person. So it's cool, really, really cool.
yeah, and it's people that have like, I'm guessing the managing director of that place, he's got a vision.
Yeah.
He's got like a vision of kind of what he wants to do, how he wants it to look, and then he's made that, and then hopefully the bar will then continue that reputation, so they're able to still pay all the people that are putting on that amazing work to then make sure that the people that are coming in are having a great time, and it's a win-win for everybody. But yeah, I think, I don't know what, but something, my heart goes out to the club performers, because Yeah, one, the clubs are dying now, which is quite sad. I saw Tiny Temper. He was on I think is it one of them, like a Jonathan Rush show or something, and he was talking
Yeah,
about how clubs are dying, and for people in our industry that is not a good thing. Like for
yeah,
us performers, because if you think about like yourself years and years ago, one of the first places would have been the bar and club. Like, oh, where can I get work? Similar as a DJ, where can I get work? Let me go to the high street. Let me go to the main city or wherever it is and try and get some work. Now, if there's like 16 venues, you've got option. But if that 16 goes on to 12 and then goes on to 8 and then goes on to 4, now you've got everyone who wants to be a DJ or everyone that wants to be a performer descended into those 4 venues, which might be the
yeah.
issue that we're kind of talking about, why the payments are so low, because now there's less clubs, which means, but there's more workers, but not like maybe that might be part of it as
Less
well.
work, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, and that reflects across the board, right? That's like your life in
Mm.
terms of supporting grassroots. Because I remember when we started a band, we started a band like maybe when I was like 14 years old, 13 years old. But I remember trying to find a venue
Mm-hmm.
here, especially we're in a town, was quite difficult. But once there's one or two people that literally are setting up their venues to kind of support younger bands or support raw talent or other things, these places are vital too, because without
Yeah.
them, probably wouldn't be here.
Wouldn't we be here? Yeah,
You
no,
know, if you're looking
100%.
at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know what needs to happen, but something needs to kind of happen so creative spaces can continue, because
Yeah.
if they don't, it will be a slow decline that we might not see straight away. And I'm always thinking about the early guys. I'm always thinking about, 10 years ago me, 15 years ago me, what would I do with the current situation of the market at the moment? And it's getting harder in quite a few avenues, which is the reason why it's great for
Yeah.
these podcasts, for people to listen to other different things and other things that people are doing, and maybe that they can maybe look at different options. There are different options available to
Sure.
people and how they want to do things. So yeah, good point. All right. So Shades, I've got one question for you. I know it's going to be random, but I've got one question for you that I have to ask. And my question is, have you ever broken a chair while standing on it doing your
I've
sax?
never broken a chair.
No way.
I've broken like 3 neck straps.
What?
So like the neck strap that holds the sax,
Oh,
I've
okay.
had it break and the sax fall and like hit the ground.
How does it break? Like, what? How did that even
I've
happen?
had it.
How?
I think just probably because I'm swinging it about like some sort of madman. I remember it snapping in a gig, and I remember it hitting the ground. And luckily, it was like the last song of the set, because the sax man was dented through, and I had the keys stuck, and I had to go get fixed. And I remember having to half sort of glue it together and fix it halfway through a set as well before, because I broke a neck strap. I've never broke a chair, but I've broke neck straps by flinging my sax
By
up in the
flinging
air.
yourself up. Because
Yeah.
when I was going for your content, you're on those chairs and you're giving it some. And there's sometimes when I'm at a wedding, and if I've got some moving heads that go really, really high. And those
Yeah.
ones, sometimes I grab a chair just to so I can get up there. But sometimes I climb on them chairs and I feel it like wobble a bit. And I'm like, ooh, that chair looks like it's going to give way. But then when I see what you're doing, you're on so many chairs. I'm thinking there must have been one time when you was like, oh, crack.
The worst ones are like sofa chairs, right? Because they're so soft
They're
underfoot
so
anyway. I'm kind of like trying to balance myself as I'm playing. So nah, I've never broke a chair, but I've broke those neck straps, man. Luckily, I've got a brand new one today. Funny enough, which was testing, and I was like, this seems so much better. But time will tell.
Time will
We'll
tell.
find out.
Well,
I'll let you know when I next snap it. It'll only be a couple of months down the line.
Well, if anything, I hope that the chair breaking doesn't happen, because that could go left. That could definitely
Yeah,
go
that could
left.
be just as bad.
So that brings me straight on to my next question, is about what once again, I think one of your major USPs when coming onto your profile is your energy, Shades, man. The energy, physical energy that you put out is phenomenal. It looks amazing, and I know you're fully consistent with it, because you do it. It's not just once off. It's something that you do all the time. But one
Yeah.
thing I see, because obviously with myself, like I'm quite similar to yourself, so I'm giving lots of energy, but it's different for me because I've just got I'm mixing, so I don't have to be on the mic or anything. So if I'm giving energy, and obviously I'm losing my breath, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
but then I just have to mix. But for you, you're actually playing something, and then you're on the mic, you're saying something, and you're jumping, and then the energy is a lot. Does it ever like mess up like you're playing, because obviously you're jumping with the air and the breathing? Does that become difficult? Is that like a skill?
So yes and no. I would say Probably not on the whole, in the sense I can just keep going until I drop, and I'll worry about it afterwards.
Yeah.
However, you could probably say like the notes maybe aren't quite as clear, or it's maybe not like perfect tone or other things, but it's like you're compensating for that, right?
Yeah.
By delivering the energy and the vibe and bringing the couple in, because that's what I think they want. You want to
Yeah.
like create an atmosphere that like elevates the day for that couple, for example, or for that corporate event, and I think that outweighs sometimes the perfect playing or like ridiculous perfect pitch all the time or tone. So is playing important? 100%. You want to sound as good as you possibly can.
Correct.
But if it ever so slightly dips, it's not the end of the world if
Yeah.
you're delivering that high energy performance.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do think there's a limit to that, right? So it can't be a case that I go crazy and get everyone up and get them on the chairs with the bride and groom or whatever, and then my playing dips quite a lot, because you're trying to maintain it as good as possible for the duration of that hour.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it particularly falls dramatically. Do I get one or two odd squeaks? Possibly, on occasion, but other than that, relatively, it holds its own.
It holds its own.
Which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, because I think like when I see similar to what you're saying, even myself, same with the DJing thing. Sometimes I'm going so ham on the energy that sometimes the crossfader might slip or something like that. Like a little error will happen. But similar to what you're saying, I want to echo that as well, is that it doesn't matter as much as some people. Some people, like you're saying, they might play and it squeaks a bit. And they're like, oh man, I failed. And they can be quite heavy on themselves. And it's like, if you're going to do a whole hour set and you're going to do, like, I don't know how many notes you might play, or you can play thousands of notes. But out of those thousands of notes, if like 20 of them are off, that's not the end of the world. Obviously, it's a problem if half your set is out of key and it doesn't sound right. Then, maybe you need to focus more on your playing than your performance. But
I do find that I'm getting less critical as I go on. And it's funny because one or two other saxophonists that have been in the game almost longer than I have said that they're really not that critical at all now. At the time when I was really quite hypercritical, I'm a perfectionist through and through. But more and more as I go on, I realised that that's okay. Like the wedding was still jumping. Like I came in and it's just off the scale now, and what was quite good is having Connie on hand, on site,
which is your wife, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because sometimes, oh man, it's like the gigs that you get, and maybe 1 in 20. Like it's been so much hard work to try and get people on the dance floor, and usually I'm really fortunate now that we've got such a fine craft that now you're like dance floor's filled. Like every time. Like we had one this past weekend. I turned up. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like we'll see how this goes. Great, it was jumping. Another one. I'm like, this is brilliant. But and that's relatively consistent. But you'll get like that 1 in 20 or that 1 in 30. Where just people aren't packing a dance floor. And I used to go home, probably like everyone else, and it eats away at you. You're like, what did I do? Like, what did I miss out on? What's not going well? But now, having Connie, she's like, but if you're seeing it from my perspective, she's like, you're looking at them face on and you're just thinking, no one's on the dance floor. But she's like, from my perspective, I can see nodding heads. I can see people dancing at their table at the back. I can see people like clapping along. She's like, most people are engaged. Like, no one's looking away. Like, everyone's watching.
Everyone's there. Yeah.
And they're there, like exactly what you say. They're enjoying it. They're lapping it up. They're having a great time. It doesn't all have to be with them on their feet for the full hour.
Yeah.
You know,
like
100%. People can
100%.
enjoy it in different ways.
And
it's interesting to hear now that Connie's on hand and she can see that wider periphery or perspective of the room in its entirety. She's like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. You're seeing what's right in front of you. I'm seeing
the full picture.
The whole room the full picture.
Yeah. And I think like we need to touch on that as well, because once again, like I said, your content is 10/10. But you've got obviously the benefit of working with your wife and her being able to capture that content. Because one of the things I think that's really difficult with saxophonists is getting content for themselves. If you're a solo op and you're going out, and we all know that we live in a world now,
really
is that if you can't get your work online, it's harder to get more work. Like it's really difficult. You could be quite busy and have like 4 or 5 gigs, but if no one sees, and it's, you know, we're not asking much, like what we see 40-second clips, 1-minute clips, do you know what I mean? Even though we're there for much longer, but that 1-second clip can lead to another 8-9 bookings. But if you can't get that bit of content, it's hard, and I feel like saxophonists, quite a lot of saxophonists struggle unless they have like a formula. But you've got your partner to come out with you, so that is a
Yeah.
benefit, bro, big benefit.
Oh, it's huge. It's
Mhm.
massive.
Mhm.
It can't be undersold in the sense that I work teaching, and then I slowly kind of cut down my days as this was picking up.
Yeah.
And then we kind of took a step back, and Connie was working as a learning assistant at the schools as well,
Mhm.
and kind of said, listen, like, how much would it take for you to come out with me to do, like, maybe what would it be, 25, 30 gigs, whatever it's going to be.
Mhm.
We'll compensate for that 25, 30 gigs, and by Connie coming out and filming the content and
Mhm.
things like that.
Mhm.
And from the minute it started, like, all it takes is 5 videos, 6 videos, and you've got all that work back.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. And then our times are in sync. So our lifestyle fit exactly. So we can go on holidays at the same time. We can do things at the same time, have all that back.
Mhm.
And it takes a weight off me because I'm not having to constantly be on top of inquiries or constantly sort out contracts. I can still have consultation calls. So like you say, I can spend more time building relationships
Yeah.
with the clients that we have
Mhm.
because Connie's doing all the sort of background work and taking that from me, which is great.
That's
So
brilliant.
that was one of the best things we ever did. And then, as you say, Connie's filming, but we're learning all the time. We're watching other people, not so much even here, like maybe in the US or Australia, they're absolutely popping off online, and we're like, what are they doing that we can maybe build
Replicate.
into our
Yeah.
content and
Yeah.
replicate and bring to the UK?
Mhm.
Because it's good because you've got two pairs of eyes. And it's same when we're making mixes or whatever we're doing, because I see it as like, are they smooth transitions? How is it flowing? How's it working, etc.
Mhm.
I always bring Connie in because I'm like, would you still be on the dance floor at this point? Like, because she doesn't have all that musicality as
Yeah,
such.
she's just gonna look at it just from her standpoint,
Yeah,
which is
she's
gonna be
seeing
a
it from a
general.
visual and
Yeah.
just general audio
Which
perspective,
is
which is brilliant.
no, 100%.
Because that's what we're reaching out for.
That's who we're connecting with. We're connecting with that type
Yeah.
of person. We're not just connecting with musicians. No, we're connecting with people that just want to go out and have a great time. So if Connie can give you feedback on, yes, I would be loving that, then that probably speaks for a lot of the people as well. I wanted to quickly touch on, which I'm sure you know, Shades, you are so lucky that you and Connie get to work like that together. Because I think there's a thing as well, musicians, DJs, producers, singers, people in the creative space, if your partner is not aligned with you and what you're doing, there's going to be some kind of issue there. Whether it is you're working too much late nights and she's doing days and you don't see each other and you become passing ships, whether you are someone who's trying to, like with a creative, like when you're trying to get started, you're doing like, £50 gig, £30 gigs, free stuff. You're just trying to get your name out there and build. And sometimes if your partner's not supportive of that, it makes it really, really difficult to then pursue what you're doing. And I know there's some, performers and creatives that have had to make a decision whether they're going to be like, look, I can either chase my dream and I might have to let my partner go, or do you know what, maybe this dream is not really worth it and I should just get a job and me and my partner just crack on with life. And I know there's some people out there, they've chosen the latter option, which is quite sad. And then they might have not like resentment, but they kind of be like, oh, when they're on Instagram, they're like, oh man, I could have been this person, but I kind of chose not to. So I think like you're in a really good position because like you're saying, you get to spend a lot of time together. And the holidays together, the working together, it's like a great team, a great synergy.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, the fact that she's really supportive, really understanding. We kind of like more and more, especially this year, almost more as we go through the relationship, which is brilliant. Our like goals are aligned, and we know what we've got to do to improve Shades of Sax. At the same time, she's kind of doing her own content thing a little bit, and she's got one or two of her own things. She does beauty and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's brilliant that we're so supportive of each other and being like, oh, you could do this. I don't mind filming that. I don't mind getting stuff done. To me, if it's beauty or whatever,
if it's going to help you, let's do it.
If it's going to help her accelerate, or whatever she needs to do, then let's do it. But I find that fantastic because it's like a shared vision, right?
Yeah.
Because Shades of Sax is kind of like a brand.
It is,
in
100%.
Itself, and that's why I didn't say Euan on sax like so many other people. Not in a bad way. I just felt like if it's Shades of Sax, there's other things that can come off the back of that. So like the shiny jackets become a bit synonymous, and now I have couples asking what colour shiny jacket you can wear to fit in with their day. I have like I've turned up to weddings and they've all got shades on.
Mm.
That's becoming more and more of a thing.
Okay.
So more and more of the weddings, they have the shades on when I appear. I'm like, that's cool. It's
Wicked.
really cool that's become a synonymous thing. But you're right. We're really lucky that our lives are so much in sync. We do so much together. We support each other, and that's really lucky and really fortunate.
Very.
But I do think it's important to recognize that early on. I mean, only a year or so into our relationship, we kind of started to realize that, you know, I've got something going on here, and that maybe we could maybe both come on board and maybe make it work together, and then it's our thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a shared thing. It's difficult because sometimes if they don't share that same enthusiasm or that same excitement that you do, it can get really tricky.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something for people to think about. If you are not in a relationship and you are a creative, when you are attracting your other better half, whatever you want to call it, it's good to think about these kind of things. So this little point might just help someone. They might be like, you know, I'm feeling this girl. I'm like, bruv, does she like what you're doing? Because if she don't bother, bruv. It's like, it's good.
It's like, stay away.
Stay away. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, what you mentioned there brings me swiftly into my next point as well, and it is the jacket and the shades. So recently I had Robin Taylor on the podcast, and she's another saxophonist and singer as well. Which you sing, so you'd understand. Yeah, so she does a lot of her stuff, and she's really big on you know, your branding, and not just your branding as in your logo or your brand, but more so when you come, people know who you are. So she used to do you know, like you get a lot of saxophonists that wear the captain hat, you know, the diamond sequin hat. And I think years ago she had the sequin hat, but there came a point when she was like, you know, it became very popular, and then she saw there was a cheaper option for the hat. Her one was like Swarovski crystal, so she paid an arm and a leg for hers. But then there was some cheaper options, so she was like, no, I kind of want to separate myself from the field. And then she went for sort of like a crown, like a halo type crown, and that's kind of her USP. And looking at you with the shiny jackets and the shades, and obviously shades of sax, it kind of all ties in. But my question is, when did the shiny jackets come in, and what influenced the shiny jacket and the shades?
Quite early on. So I sat down with my dad, funnily enough, really early doors, and thought I need to come up with a name, a sort of brand, an idea. And we kind of toyed around. It was my dad that came up with this idea of the Shades logo with like the sax and the DJ in either part. And then I started to wear the shades quite early on. And at that point, they were kind of like a mask you can sort of hide behind.
Yeah.
So I felt like I became a different person when I had the shades on. I probably became this like energy animal.
Okay. No, I love that.
Then the shiny jacket quite quickly followed, and then it kind of stuck, because once you've got the first 4 or 5, 6 bits of content or whatever out there, you kind of got folk being like, oh, this is cool, this guy's like, I love the shiny jacket, I love the shades, I love how it was working, and it just very quickly stuck. And it's been with us ever since. And as I say, now you get people that like request or like favorite shiny jackets, or what kind of outfit are you going to wear, what are you going to wear for this part, that, and it's an absolute staple of what I do. I can't get away from it, because I know there's 1 or 2 other people that use shiny jackets as well and things, but if you turn up and there's not a shiny jacket, people don't know who I am. People can't recognize me. As soon as you put on the shades, like, oh, it's Shades of Sax, like Shades of Sax is at this wedding. And that's the other thing, it's so difficult to hide, because more and more people kind of know who you are. They've seen you on socials or other things, and you turn up at weddings, and I've kind of got to do the whole hide in the back thing and then pop out. I can't do anything at all. I can't even be seen in the same room. So when the music triggers, Connie's got to trigger the music, and I'll come out.
You come out.
Because if I come into the room to trigger the music, everyone will know.
Yeah.
Everyone, it'll be so clear.
There is times it's funny you say that, because there's times when, especially when they say, oh, we've told everyone about you, we've sent your videos to everyone. And sometimes I'm like, oh, okay. Because exactly what you're saying, I'm like, I have to hide then until it's showtime. I don't want anyone to see me. Like, because when I come, especially if I've got a setup, luckily now I've got an assistant, and then he will do the setting up, because I'm like, I can't go out there until it's time. And then when it's time, I come up, boom, in the room, and they're like, oh my God, he's here, yeah!
But that's like part of the production element.
Yeah,
as
it's
well,
true,
right?
It's true.
It feeds into who you are. Like, it's almost like a little bit more of like I guess a false celebrity status, right? Where you're coming out and it's like, you know, you got 247. He's coming. Like, just you wait, he's coming. But if you went out and started doing all the sort of like constructive and
Yeah, you
everything, and
lose
everything, yeah,
that.
it just kind of slightly takes away from it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like when we do our mid meals, we set up way before the meal.
yeah.
Like we'll set up when they're having their drink reception or whatever it might be, the cocktail hour. We'll set up at that point and we'll
Yeah.
just hide away for 2 hours and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll come out and do our thing. Because if we set up during the meal and things, it's just more of a professional image, and
Yeah, I
that's what
agree.
you're building as you go through it.
Yes, yeah, I fully agree with that. I kind of have a rule where, obviously, if I can't, and it is what it is, but I have a rule where I tell the clients, I don't not want none of your guests seeing the setup.
Yeah.
I call it Disney. Like, if you, with the room tournament, I like you to go out and you come back in, oh wow, like this wasn't here
Yeah.
a minute ago. I'm like, yeah, we need that. And
Yeah.
there's some venues where they're like, oh yeah, you can just set up. And I'm like, but where the guests going to be? Oh, they're going to be at the other end of the room. I'm like, nah, they can't see. They cannot
Yeah.
see. It needs to be magic when they leave, and then when they come back, boom, big setup, lights
Yeah.
are going off, there's a vibe in the room, 247's there. It needs to, that's kind of like how I would like to
Yeah.
continue. So yeah, man.
But do you have people close to you as well? Like, do you like to try and like feed them in to get closer to you and all that kind of stuff?
So
Because sometimes I feed off their energy
yes,
as well. So when I'm on the
100.
dance floor, I'm like, I'm just buzzing. Like it's getting more and more exciting, and that's how the meal thing works. Where I like bring them out from behind the top table. Like sometimes it's really strange. I don't know. Everyone does it differently, but some saxophonists will do like their mid meal surprise. The bride and groom will be behind the top table and they'll kind of just come out. And if the bride and groom decide to come out of their own accord, that's great. I'm like, nah, that's not an option. Like, you're coming out no matter what.
Yeah.
So within about 2-3 minutes, they'll get out from behind the top table, get in about their guests. The guests feed off their energy.
Yep.
They feed off my energy, and it just compounds
Yeah.
through the whole performance.
Yeah. 100%. It's part of the whole show. It's part of the whole show. So looking at your content, that's one thing I do see is a lot of you performing during dinner. Like I see a lot of like you're on the chairs, everyone's going mad. Like it's bright. It's not like it's even in the evening. It's a well lit room, and you're getting everyone up and going. Is that kind of like one of your main selling points, like in terms of when you're getting booked? Because that's what people see the most. Is that what people book you for more, or is it the evenings, or is it really all mixed up?
Funnily enough, it's all mixed up. I still, as a personal favourite, I kind of find the meal thing really works.
Okay.
Like when I first came on the scene, the power hour was like the end thing. And it wasn't even myself that kind of totally came up with it. So everyone was kind of doing, 45 minutes and 45 minutes later on. And then someone else came up with the power hour idea. And I was like, when it was sort of explaining to me, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that actually really works. And then when I started to go out and do it, it just totally worked. And that became the thing maybe like 3-4 years ago. And it's still really popular. And then I kind of started to think like that, where it's like, we need to find a gap. We need to do something different. You need to do, and I knew that, I think at that time people were doing it in the US or people were doing it in Australia, same thing. And I was like, no one's really doing that here. There's no saxophonist that bursts in and does a whole meal thing at this point. This was maybe like 2.5 years ago. So when I first introduced it, that kind of became the thing. I always, but it's one of these things where you always introduce it knowing that someone else is going to do it 6 months down the line.
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to be exclusively yours.
Yeah.
It's going to become a thing. The key is just to try and get ahead of that trend.
Yeah, for real.
And that's kind of paid off. That's become a popular thing as well. So I would say the three main things are either sort of drink reception, sort of classier, set the tone for the day, and probably it's usually joint with wedding entrance.
Okay.
So we'll like do the whole thing, build up through like 80s, 90s into sort of Big Beef a Chill sort of stuff. Then we'll have your big entrance. I know Euan does it with like 5 minutes of madness, which I've kind of, but you steal little ideas where I'm like, I might do 1 or 2 songs now, not just the one song, and I'll bring them all in. And then I kind of leave them, and then that sets the absolute tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Or it might be a case where I might do like the power hour with that, or I might do the mid meal later on to kind of bring them back up after they've kind of slumped. And you kind of feel that little bit of a dip,
that little low,
energy,
yeah.
You can bring it right back up.
Yeah, almost instantly, like just go and set that fire, and it was like, oh, we're back in. Let's go.
I'm excited for that. Like that's what I look forward to doing. I look forward to, I don't know, leaving a mark on the wedding day.
Yeah, no, I think you've done that many times. To be fair, I think you've done that many times. A quick question: out of all of those ones, do you have a favorite? Out of all of those different options, if
I like
all of them.
Entrance.
Oh, you like the.
Oh, to be fair, either the entrance or the mid meal part.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people are ready for it at the time their meal comes in. So I feel like if you're doing the entrance, you can make it massive, right? You can have the napkins in the air. People can follow you onto the dance floor. There's so many options you can do with just that 5 minute spell. And for the mid meal thing, Like I always say I start it, so I'll get the couple out from behind the top table. We'll get the napkins in the air. We'll bring everyone forward with your couple. I try and get them like in the middle of the room. I might be on a chair at that point,
Yeah.
which is kind of probably what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens after that? Like, who knows? I've had things where people have like brought out blow up saxophones. The glow sticks have come out early. I've
Early,
had
it's
like
dinner time, and I see the
people
glass.
drumming on the table. I've had like, you name it. Like, it could be anything. Whatever goes after that. I've had them all get up on their own chairs and stuff. I'm like, this is bananas.
Do you know what I think's funny? Sometimes is that when I was going through some of your content, what I found funny is that every now and then there'll be a video where everyone's going crazy shades, everyone's going nuts. But then in the back, there'll just be one or two people just sitting on the chair like that.
There's always one or two.
There's always one or two. And I look at them
There's
and I'm like,
always that one.
there's always that one. Always. And there's one video, there's this one guy, and he looks at a place. Everyone's going absolutely losing their troughs. And he's just sitting there like, but around him is you lot, the bride and groom. Everyone's just like, and
but you must have that as well, right?
Oh, 100.
You must always have that.
100%. There's times when it's literally going off and there's like some boring conversation happening over at the table, and I'm just like, you lot are just not involved, and that's fine. Do you know what I mean? Because
well, that's it. I wouldn't seek them out.
No, me neither.
I know of a DJ. I know of like one or two people who would literally go and like take the party to them, and sometimes that's not fair.
No, I agree. That's not their thing. Yeah, it's not for everyone.
But equally, I do remember you and Lawrence being like going over a couple and being like, "Listen, I will play you any song you want. Like you sat here, you've been respectful for the whole night, but I will play you anything you want of any sort right now for the next 5-10 minutes if you'll just get up and just have a good time."
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of he's done that sort of thing, and but yeah. No, there's always one or two.
There's always one or two.
You're playing to the majority. You're trying to make it the most poppin' wedding you possibly can.
Yeah,
and that's all we're there to do.
Yeah, 100%. I want to quickly talk about Euan actually, because I have got a lot of respect for Euan. I think he's an industry legend, 100%. Yeah. Like, I remember when I first met Euan, he put me on so much game. Like, it's unreal. Like, he is the total opposite of a gatekeeper, maximum. And you have a lot of people that keep a lot of things to them and they don't share and they don't bring people and they don't do that. But Euan's like total opposite. How did you and Euan's relationship start? And is that when, like, how did you sort of get introduced to tartan and that whole movement?
So Euan stumbled on me and was like, "Who are you and where have you been? Like, this is what we need."
Sorry. Then, so when he did stumble upon you, what was you doing at this time? Was you already doing weddings? Was you doing
Yeah, I'd started to do maybe 5 or 6 weddings, give or take. Nothing major. Mm-hmm. Like, I was literally only single digit into weddings. Mm-hmm. And then Euan spotted me online and kind of messaged and said, "Who are you and where have you been?" And I can explain that I'm Euan, I'm from Dumfries, all this sort of stuff. And then he'd said that we need to go out and do a bit of a run of this because it'd be great to try and work together. And we went along to do a festival, I think, as well.
Oh, wow.
At a castle, I think, was one of the first things. We did a VIP tent, if I remember
correctly.
Sick. I didn't have the shiny jacket at this point. I had none of that. I think I had, what did I have? Like denim. I think I was like going for a denim look. Right. So when we went and did the sort of VIP tent thing, I was kind of moving around and he was kind of doing his DJ decks for half an hour. He's like, "I think this could work. Like, I think this could be really, really cool." Mm-hmm. And then we did a wedding together only a couple of weeks after that, and it just went off.
Yeah.
And I remember Euan always saying, he's like, at that wedding, he's like, "That's when I knew I had something."
Yeah.
He was like, "This is going to be huge.
Yeah.
This is going to be really big." The dance floor was packed the whole time we were on for that sort of hour. Mm-hmm. And then we did another wedding as well, and same thing.
Popped again.
He was like, "This is just going to be big."
So
this is
So if we go back to like when Euan saw your content, the question I've got is the energy that you put out now. Obviously, this is before the jacket and the shades, but when you never had the jacket and the shades, and when we was doing some of the restaurants and some of the stuff before, was you giving as much energy as you give now, or do you find that you give more energy now, or has that always just kind of been your bag?
I find that I give more and more and more energy as the gigs go on, which is probably going to run me into the ground. But yeah, no, I wasn't giving as much then, definitely not. Mm-hmm. I was getting out and just getting comfortable with kind of being at the edge of the dance floor and kind of interacting with people. Mm-hmm. And then obviously it kind of fed where you're kind of in the middle of the dance floor and I don't know. Now I can end up on people's shoulders and on seats and all kinds of things, man. And getting everyone on the stage behind you, and like it doesn't even have to take you in to trigger that. Like I'll just like be like, right, let's get on behind the stage behind him. But yeah.
Oh,
So
that's amazing, man. Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly touch and say big up Euan, man, because Euan Lawrence, man, he's
a
a legend.
force.
He's a force to be reckoned with. The things that
He
he's
is.
done, the way he's changed the game, his name needs to be mentioned more and more and more. So if there's any time I
Yeah.
can shout him out, big shout out to Euan Lawrence, Titan Entertainment family. Jeez, sick. So with some of your dinner stuff, I noticed that obviously you don't have a DJ when you're doing the
No.
so do you have a premix that you kind of use, right?
Yeah.
And who
Yeah, I
makes your
do.
mixes? Do you make your mixes yourself, or how does that work?
No, I don't. I can't take total credit for it. It's a mix between like I'll definitely contribute to it and we'll work it out and we'll take it forward and like back and forward. It's a guy called DJ Stephen Bennett, and then there's also Euan as well from time to time. We'll
Yes,
like look at it and be like, oh
Steve.
yeah,
Yes, he's
maybe
part of Titan as well, right? Stephen.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a legend as well. He's a legend.
Brilliant,
Yeah,
really, really
legend.
good. So hence why we're going out this weekend to kind of try another mix again.
Okay.
I personally like so you can. There's two ways you can for them. You kind of do like 30 minutes, and then they can sort of like for some saxophonists do like smaller mixes, and they kind of I guess crossfade them when it's live to what might suit. I don't really like that.
Okay.
The reason I don't think I like it is because I like to turn up, know what I'm looking at, and get a vibe for the guest straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And then go with it and run with it. I don't want to, as I say, once I'm out there, like I'm out there,
Yeah.
like I'm just bringing the energy and I'm just feeding off it and I'm accelerating that and more all the time. So once I'm committed, I don't want to feel like I'm coming back to then work out what I need to do and I'm faffing. I'd rather just go with it and make it work, right? And I would say the majority of times that works for us, like the vast majority of times. So at the minute we're maybe making up 2 or 3 new mixes. I think I'll maybe 4 in total in the end, and I'll be quickly judging at the time, and I'll be like, that one's for today. And it's also to keep it fresh for you.
Yeah.
It's also to keep it so I'm like not always playing the same thing. I'm mixing and keeping it interesting.
Yeah.
And then also when I'm with a competent, reliable, brilliant DJ, like when I'm out with Steven on Saturday, he'll mix the whole thing live.
Yeah.
And that's good as well, because it kind of keeps it fresh.
Keeps it different. Yeah.
It's a bit like yourself. Like if you're out with someone that's competent, is going to bring the vibe and the energy, just you let them do their thing and you do your thing, and you can work together. And it's funny, you build relationships with particular people, and I feel that feeds onto the dance floor as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Because I think like when it comes to saxophonists, probably same as you might have experienced the same with DJs. You get some good and some bad. Do you know what I mean? You get some that are really, really good. You work with them for the first time, and it was just synergy straight off the back. And I'm like, bro, you're sick, man. Like I've never met you before. You came respectful. Yeah, I'm a team player type guy. So I'm like, yeah, you can plug in. You can do what you want. Do you want reverb? Do you want any of this? It's like, yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah. I can do it myself or whatever. I'm like, yeah, fine. And then it just works and it just goes off. And I'm like, yep, let me make sure I keep your number. So if someone's asking for sax or I've got some of my own options, but I've also got other options as well to say like, look at these saxophonists, they're all great. And then once or twice I've had 1 or 2 saxophonists that are not maybe as great as some of the others. And I'll be playing and I'll be listening, and every now and then I'll hear I'm like, what's that? And it would be the whether he's out of key or something doesn't sound right. So I think like there is something about building relationships with the people that you're working with, because once you start to build, it just becomes a bit more easy and a bit more harmonically pleasing is the best way I would try and explain it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, now more and more through like any of the Tartan DJs, you feel so comfortable to let them do their thing. You just click. I'm in the game. I'm like in the zone for what I need to do to bring the energy onto the dance floor and get everyone involved, and sometimes they're on the mic as well, so they can take over that aspect. So I'm purely focused on playing ability as well as I possibly can, as well as just feeding in and interacting with them on more of an individual basis, because they're saying right, get low, or they're saying hands up, or they're taking over all that stuff that sometimes I have to do on my own. So when you turn up and the DJ's not quite as competent, I'm like, listen, I can't. It's a difficult one because you can't afford to leave anything to chance on someone's Wednesday.
Of course
right?
not.
You've got to turn up and be like, I'll make a quick assessment. And sometimes it's very much based around like the equipment they might have, the appearance of where they are, the kind of stuff they're playing now. and quickly, so, and most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you end up being right, and you're like, this, they're great at what they do, and I'll stick to what I do, and then together we can make
We
a
can make it
brilliant
work.
day.
Yeah.
Right, we can make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other times where you turn up, and like you say, you've maybe been out 2-3 times with that person, and you begin to work out like they are really good. They
Mm-hmm.
know what they're doing. They deliver the same sort of vibe as me. They connect with me, so they can do all of the music and the DJing and everything that they need to do, and I can purely focus on the sax aspect and the energy and building up the atmosphere and the interaction and stuff.
So if a client was to book you and they had a DJ and it wasn't a tartan DJ or a DJ that you never knew, would you still take the booking, or do you kind of do a bit of like background checks or anything like that, or are you kind of
Nah, we definitely take the booking. We can be self-contained as well. So
Yeah.
we've got like we can literally set up our own sound system, use one of the mixes that we've made with a few DJs in the past and things, and just kind of run the night. And we to the point that now we're practically announcing ourselves and interacting ourselves, because sometimes it sounds bad, but you can also do that better than some other people.
Yeah, no,
Sometimes I've turned up and
100%.
the coordinators are a bit more lax and there's a bit less that they can deliver. I was like, nah, I need energy from
the
first
get-go.
second.
Yeah.
I can't afford to be like, right guys, come and gather round, this sax guy's gonna come out and do it. And I'm like, nah. Like, I'm a surprise. Everybody get up, bride and groom in the middle,
Let's
in the air,
go.
bring your glow sticks and napkins with you, and let's get the party started. That's it.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, no, I get that. I can't have the coordinator. Okay, ladies, and can we all gather around? We've got we've got a sax hour, so we're gonna have a dance for a bit, guys. And
it's not what I'm about.
Yeah,
it's not what
and then
I'm
when you come out, it doesn't match. Like the intro and what happened is like,
and they've not seen me before.
No.
So granted, they might not know, and they might be used to saxophonists playing, I don't know, next to the DJ decks, and maybe it's a bit more easier, or maybe they're envisaging drink reception stuff and things. Because I've had people see the whole party aspect and be like, that was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but that's new.
That's my.
So yeah.
Oh man. Another one is like, you see, when you're doing the dinner sets, is there ever times when you've had, I don't know, like a venue might complain or anyone complain that they're not eating as much food because you're getting them so hyped up? Have you ever heard anyone mention that to you at all?
No, they've been pretty good. We quickly realised the first time we did it 1 or 2 times after mains, a bit like singing waiters would do.
Yeah.
And we were like, we can't do this because nobody eats any of the desserts and half of the mains are ruined.
Yeah.
So we quickly realised, I was like, brides and grooms are paying for this food.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that, Shays. I was like,
we can't do it.
Yeah, they need to eat their dinner, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
And also, you're working with the venues.
Yeah.
So you're like, you want them to do everything they need to do, right? So if they need to serve the food, and I've just everyone's on the chair now, and they're needing to try and get
around people to
collect the
all
mains
going
and
off
then put the desserts out. I was like, this isn't going to work. So we then decided that the whole thing is that when the last table's served, we maybe give it 3-4 minutes from that, and then we'll get started. So it's enough time that your first tables have all finished.
Yeah, okay.
And your last tablers are going to be like halfway through their dessert, so they're only 3-4 spoonfuls off getting finished, so they can quickly shovel that down when I'm coming out and getting everyone up. Right?
Okay, do you know? Because I was watching that and I was just thinking like how, like with the food service, because when I do day host and sometimes I play games during the dinner, and similar to you, I try to find that sweet spot. I want to get rid of that low time. So I always say it's either going to be mid just before starters, or once starters have been served, say they got like 10 tables, once the 7th table's cleared, I'm coming out, because then they can then do the last few and they can do the game, and then I'll tell them I'm going to do it strict, like it's literally going to be 7 minutes, it's going to be 5, whatever minutes it's going to be a quick bit of fun, and then your mains are getting served, and then they sit down, and then they're like, what the couple's like about that is that flow, that smooth flow of, just finished my start, man, that was lovely, oh, something's going on, oh yeah. Bit of hype, then they sit down, mains are here, they're like, this is smooth. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it works really, 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 really well.
Do you do like your sing-along things? Is that kind of what you might do?
No, so I don't do any.
Or what do you do?
I don't do any singing. So I do sort of like games. I do some sort of like interactive sort of game, whether it's going to involve the bride and groom, whether we do all different stuff. We put stuff under their chairs from early on in the day, and I'm like, everyone reach under. That 2 people have been selected here for something. I don't know who it is, but reach under your table, reach under your chair. there and two of you have got something and you see everyone reaching. And so I was like, yep, I've got one. I'm like, yeah, all right, you look, come to the front. They're like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? But then it just starts to, we just do different styles of entertainment. Because I think mid-meal entertainment is a great thing because sometimes you lose a lot of energy during the dinner. So if you've got sax, like what you're doing during the dinner, singing waiters are good, but I know it's not something that can last forever because it's hard to sell a singing waiter because once you see it online, you've kind of seen it. Once you see it at a venue, you've seen it. So, but I still think it's a good option to have something during the dinner. So once again, similar to like what you were saying, I was looking at some of the Americans and what they was doing, and they was doing sort of like different dinner games, table dash, this and that. So I was like, yeah, man, I can do that to just bring something extra to the day. Now, don't get me wrong, not every single couple wants that. Some of them just want me to do more master of ceremonies just to keep the day running smooth, and I bring a bit of atmosphere just with my standard character anyway. But then some of them are like, yeah, nah, we wanna have other things going on during the dinner time. So yeah, it definitely, it works.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I'd always recommend anything to shake up the day, something to keep it fresh, because it does dip during that period of the day. I mean, we had our wedding, and obviously Euan was there, and honestly, there was more things that happened during that meal than you could possibly think of. But it was great because people that hadn't seen that, our sides of the family, like my side and Connie's side, particularly family, were just like, "This is amazing!
This is crazy! I've
like,
never seen one of this.
What a transformation in what weddings." From what they used to be to what they are now.
Yeah, correct.
And there's so much more going on and so much more to look forward to. And other things was kind of the feedback. So that was interesting to hear.
Okay. So, Shades, where would you say you get most of your work from? Is it all coming from like, are you like a recommendations? Are you Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it Facebook? Is it directories? Where is most of your belly of your beast coming from?
So I would say the majority of it now comes from social media.
Okay.
Especially TikTok.
Oh, really? I was just gonna say, which one out of the two are you seeing? Would you say Instagram is still king, or?
Nah, I would say TikTok's beginning to take over.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
For us, it is. Yeah. I don't know why. Totally, it just seems to be that we're getting more and more, and we're getting them UK wide as well. So it's not even as if it has to be here at home. It doesn't have to be, I don't know, Scottish bookings. We're getting them from all
over the place. And you're saying
like,
TikTok?
We're really lucky.
And you're saying TikTok is where it's driving more than Instagram?
Yeah.
Wow.
For us, yeah.
So
you can see, at least for our statistics, like with Studio Ninja and stuff like that.
Yep.
For when we see our bookings, like over half of it's just over half's TikTok.
That is insane, Shades, man.
It is.
And the reason why I say that is because I'm going to say last year, I've been saying to people, this is when I was doing TikTok, I was saying like Instagram is a powerhouse. For me, Instagram's still my main powerhouse. But I was saying to people like, don't sleep on TikTok. Like, even if you're just doing cross promotion, even if you're doing what you post on Instagram and post on TikTok, some people wouldn't agree with that. Some of the gurus wouldn't agree with that. But I'm like, look, man, if you're visible somewhere, be visible. It doesn't, like, obviously you can make different content for Instagram and TikTok, but I'm like, content's content. So don't sleep on TikTok. But you're the first person I've spoke to that is saying what you're saying, where TikTok is overtaking Instagram in terms of inquiries. That's crazy.
That is so funny. That is so... I don't know why that is. I just feel like it's accelerating more and more and more. And it's not like we're even posting that much more than we ever have.
No,
it just
same.
seems to be slowly moving. Like, I think like my dad, for the first time ever, has opened a TikTok.
No way!
And I know for a fact Connie's dad's opened one as well. I think the driving force of TikTok possibly. So it's always been that Instagram's obviously been very much sort of business affiliated and other things, and TikTok's been a little bit more. But I don't know if because TikTok's so user friendly, it just becomes the more desirable one gradually for people as a whole. I don't know if that's the reason, but I do think it will steadily. I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like it might ever so slightly move towards TikTok
over Instagram. Well, to be fair, like TikTok's plan, from what I studied anyway, TikTok want to be a search engine, an educational search engine. So obviously they've got, content is always entertaining, education, or inspiring, and TikTok try to do all three all the time. And they like when people do like how-to videos, similar to like what YouTube is. You know, when you know, when you think, oh, how do I do something? Like, you know, I want to change my car tire. All right, then Vauxhall Corsa, how to change a car tire. You put that in on YouTube, you're gonna get at least 1,000 videos of lots of different people teaching you. And TikTok want to do more of that, and Instagram haven't really. I'm sure, like, because Instagram's still everything, so I'm sure that when they see what TikTok's doing, they're like, we need to become a search engine as well. Do you know what I mean? But TikTok is becoming that search engine if you want food, if you want to lose weight, if you want to do whatever. So maybe when people are searching now, that's becoming a popular search, looking for sex and come out.
It's a bit like me introducing the mid-meal, right? That someone's, it's always going to be replicated, but it might not be replicated to quite the same standard. And you're always a jump ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
And that can really cost somebody. So if TikTok's a year ahead, you know, that's a lot.
It is
to already be ahead and be established as that go-to place for how-to videos.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's crazy. Like, we were going on holiday to Rome, so last night we were sitting and trying to work out like
what to do, where to go, what's going on. Yeah,
all that stuff. You'll get your answers as quick on TikTok as you will on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Like if you look up like top 5 things to do, though, there's tons of videos, like, and they're super easy to watch.
Yeah, nice short clips,
I think
quick.
That's possibly the slight difference.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know why Instagram's not quite as easy to watch. Like, if I want to find out what the top 5 things are, there'll be a 30-second video going, visit this, it's open this time to this time, it's that much. Visit here, it's open that. You don't quite get that on Instagram.
No.
You've kind of got to do a bit more looking.
A bit more grafting,
and people
ain't got time.
Yeah, they ain't got time and they ain't got the effort.
Nah, ain't got.
Like, people can't be bothered. Things are like
fast,
to your fingertips.
Yeah, and it's speed. So people want that speed, and I think like TikTok's taking care of that. So like exactly like what you said. See, even with me, like my missus, she uses TikTok as a search engine. Like she uses TikTok very different to me. I use TikTok like I'm, you know, educating, talking about DJ stuff and whatnot. But she just got a profile. She doesn't upload anything. If she's looking for something, recipe for, enter. And loads of options. And like you're saying, quick. Straight away, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Like, how much time do you have? We've got someone that has a video just made for you. You want a 10-second one? Here's a 10-second one. So I was like, lasagna, this, that, match, done. Everything, and it's just there and then. So
quick.
Yeah, so I think they're doing it.
We just ran, I mean, a good example is we just ran our own wedding show here. It was good, successful, maybe like 80 couples, maybe like 230 people or something.
Wait, hold on. You did it yourself? What?
Yeah, we sorted our own wedding show, really, because it was in... The reason why we put it together here was because we're in Dumfries, it's a small town. There's not loads and loads of wedding shows. There's loads of good suppliers, local suppliers, who we can represent. There's a few venues in the area who have their own wedding shows, but obviously they've got their own recommended suppliers.
Yeah, so not everyone can get in.
So to have a neutral hub where all of suppliers can be showcased in one place... That was an interest of ours. That's what we wanted to do, and to support the local wedding industry and things.
Okay, nice.
To nurture it. So that's kind of why we did it. But I quickly threw together a 30-second video, you know, like a promo video of saying, hey, come down to Lorban Hall, etc., for this past weekend. And I sent it through to the person that I'm also running it with, who's a photographer.
Yeah.
He was like, how did you get this so quickly turned around to such a good degree? And it's got like the text and the captions and it's all flashy. It just looks good. And I was like, that's TikTok. Like, I've just drummed that up on TikTok.
Yeah, and TikTok, because they've got...
And then sent it to you within half an hour. And he's like, I don't have TikTok, but he's like, you're definitely kind of selling it in the sense that it's so user-friendly.
Yeah, it is.
It's easier to edit on TikTok than it is on CapCut and InShot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so good to do.
I've always been like, I always try to, when it comes to content, I try to use in-app editors. So if I'm going to post something on Instagram, well, Instagram now have that thing called edits now, which kind of helps. It's not that bad. I still think
But do you find it as easy to work as TikTok?
The only reason why I think is because I use it more, so I find it I can knock out a video pretty quick. And I'm the type of person, I don't like to edit too much. I don't like to have too much cuts. And if I am, then I'm gonna go. I would go to CapCut now, because then I can just make one video which I can just then put around. Because I've got this sort of mindset of like, you know, editing app. Then I'm like, if I'm gonna edit on TikTok and then edit another one on Instagram, the only thing that when I do that, they will perform just as good. But if I get a CapCut video and I pull it on both platforms, one will do better than the other. But I think I think TikTok has the best editing in
Yeah.
in-app studio out of all of them. I think it's quite
I would
powerful,
agree.
lots of options, like you're saying, easy
Yeah.
to use, very quick as well, like snap, 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 snap. They kind of
Yeah.
know what people are doing, so even when you're dragging it, it's giving you those cues, like, do you want to stop it here? Do you want to stop it here? Do you want to
Yeah,
stop it
yeah,
here?
yeah.
And it just makes it a bit more easier. So yeah, no, I do agree. I think it's a great in-app
Yeah.
editor for sure, for sure, for sure.
Although I do get in Instagram's idea, like, because their editor one delivers higher quality
Yes, it
to their
does.
app.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
compress it as
Doesn't
much.
compress it almost at all, or it makes it compressed for the upload but sharp for the viewer when they're watching it
Yeah.
on their phone. It's going to be in.
So it makes sense. I just find it a bit more, I don't know, it's just a little bit less user friendly in terms of the actual editing process itself. And there's so many options and things with TikTok, but it's a race.
It
They're in
is.
a race.
It is. They're in it, and I'm here for it because it means that
Yeah, yeah.
I like competition. Like, because if TikTok wasn't here, then Instagram would just be the one place. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're the ones running it, but having TikTok there and having it be in a slightly different platform, I think kind of works well. But I think it's really interesting to hear what you said, because I do believe that I don't know if TikTok will ever like take full lead and Instagram will get left in the dust, but I feel like I always try to tell people, especially the new people coming in, if anyone's new coming in, I'm like, don't just leave TikTok, like, because TikTok's the one moving, they're the one moving more forward than I would say Instagram are. And but no, it's super interesting to hear that you get that much work from TikTok. Mine's definitely upped this year. I think it's just same as you. I'm on Studio Ninja, so I've got like Pink Instagram, then I've got word of mouth recommendations, and then the next one is TikTok. But last year TikTok was here, but now it's here, and to the point I'm like, whoa. And similar to what you're saying, I don't post that much, so they're watching old content. They're watching stuff that's like, you know, a year old, 18 months old, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, TikTok. And when I get them on a call, I always ask them, oh, what video do you remember? And they're like, yeah, it's the video when you said this or you did this, and I'm like, I posted that in 2023, and that's when I've got to say, do you know what, TikTok? Thanks. Like that's yeah. I'm still getting inquiries today from something I posted, 2-3 years ago. That's brilliant. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is. It's crazy. It's crazy the way it works, and it's crazy how you can have people, still refer to things, and you're like, where did you see that? Like, and it still comes around like 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah.
But you can equally have something that's just gone out and it just blows up.
Yeah.
I mean, people think it's really difficult because I don't know whether people sometimes think we're kidding when we say like we're super busy in terms of inquiries and demand, and it's at a near all-time high. I think like in the last year when we saw the statistics, Connie and I were just like, this is crazy.
Insane.
Where I think we had something like 3,500 inquiries.
What? In what? In what? Whoa! In what? 3,500 shades.
Yeah, we had 3,500 last year.
In a year?
Yeah. And then TikTok was something like 1,200 of those or something.
1,000?
Or supposedly. And that's how they've went to Studio Ninja to put in their inquiries.
Yeah.
Like at the minute, we're maybe getting like 20 to 25 a day.
Yeah.
At the minute.
Wow.
And there's only one of us. Because people have always said, like, would you get someone else? Would you start, like, getting saxophonists to go out and do it? But I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't feel like I can ensure that they're going to go out to the same standard and quality.
Yeah.
It's all going to go. Because you must be in a similar position.
No, 100%. There's one DJ I'm thinking of. She's a female. And I remember when I brought her into the podcast, her episode hasn't come out yet. Or it might have come out, depending on when this is out. But when I brought her on, everything she said, I agreed with her so much. I felt like she was me. You know, when you're talking to someone and she's a female, but her background and she likes to party and she likes to club and she went to the DJ and she's passionate about beat matching and she loves DJs. She likes to watch other DJs and everything she said, I'm like, that's kind of how I think, but I don't talk about much. But everything she was saying, I was like, to the point, I was like, you are the only person I think I could send out and I know you're going to do a good job. The way she was talking about delivery of service, the vibe, and it's the wedding and everything she was saying, I was like, you sound like this is now turned into an interview from a podcast. And I'm like, so are you free on this thing? Because I know you did a picture, but I want to employ you. So she's the only person I thought to myself, I would like, I don't know if I would want it to be like fully under the brand, but at the same time I'm thinking, no, I think she would work it. I feel she would be respectful. I think she would tick all the boxes that make me scared to have
Yeah.
another person. But I think the problem is with people like ourselves is when people see shades of sax, or if they see 247, they want that and nothing else.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're the only one that can deliver that it's not something you can kind of maybe teach it to someone, but it won't be shades. It will be
And again, come back to Tartan. They've done a brilliant job of getting like the right people, like the perfect, and Euan's done a great job of being very particular about exactly the kind of high quality people he wants to represent his brand, right? But they all still have their own kind of unique spins or unique traits that they can do. So it's not like it's been prescriptive.
Yeah.
You equally wouldn't want that.
No.
Yeah, so but he's done a great job through that way. I just couldn't. It's just so much work and so much management, so much time and effort and all that. And I feel like we're busy enough as it is.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've always thought that when I created the company, I created it as 247 Events Group because I always thought I'm never going to be on my own forever. Like that's never. I don't want to be on my own forever. But then what we then changed it into is that with the 247 Events Group is that you can just have a DJ, or you can have a DJ and sax, or you can have a DJ sax and bongo, or you can have a DJ sax, bongo and singer. We have an assistant, we have a videographer. If you want to invite all of us, now that I can facilitate because we're all there working. But similar to like what you're saying, I think running a multi-op or having multiple people working with you, I think the most stressful thing I could have ever imagined is me being at a gig doing a first dance and then getting a text or email on my phone and someone saying, "Where's the DJ?" And I'm like, I can't even focus on that right now. I've got this to do. But they're but our first dance is in 15 minutes and there's no one here. I couldn't, my belly, I'll be there like, I'm going to be sick, but there's a first dance happening, but there's a first dance another way, like 60, 70 miles away. Then like they're writing letters, the emails in capital letters. This is bad, do you know? So I think just the anxiety of that alone just made me say, do you know what, the original plan of having, you know, lots of other DJs, maybe not, just like be the main brand, and the events group is when they book all of you. So that's kind of like how it is at the moment. It might change.
I mean, that's right. I mean, worst case scenario, like if the saxophonist doesn't turn up, like it's not the absolute
end of the world.
You can still keep the vibe going, still keep the party going, keep the energy going. If a DJ doesn't turn up, it's like ends the world.
Finished. It's done. Yeah, it's. I couldn't have that on my conscience. Like a wedding day, and they're like, our wedding day was great, but when it came to the evening, we had no music. We ended up doing the first dance through the PA system on a sound even that. We done the first dance using the in-house PA. There was no bass. We did the first dance, and then they said, we can stick on a playlist. We stuck on a playlist, and the wedding died by 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like, it was just shit. Like, I not on my watch, Shades. Not on my.
No, you just feel like you've let them down.
Oh, massively.
And yourself.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where your mum tells them, but especially you've let yourself.
Yeah, you've let yourself. You haven't let us down. Not only have you let us down and let me down, you've let yourself down. And you're like, oh my God, that's too much.
Swallow me now.
Yeah, swallow me now. All right, Chase, we're coming towards the end. But the one thing I did want to ask you, and this is an interesting one, because I get this a little bit as well. With yourself, obviously going through your socials, when looking at it, if someone was to ask me as a person, what is Shades? I'll be like, he's an extroverted person. Like, from what I can see, that's him. Obviously, that's not you all the time. I don't think that you're going to be in Tesco's on a Sunday like, chips, like, I don't. But are you genuinely generally an extroverted person all the time, or do you have introverted parts of yourself?
I think I've got introverted parts as well, but I am socially active, so. Like, it's funny. I think I would quite like to. I'm always up for going out and seeing people and having a coffee, and we're going out tonight, I think, to go and see Connie's auntie and uncle and things. And just going out to see people and socialise and do all that stuff. Yeah, I'm a big extrovert. Does it mean that I always want to go out and party hard and everything? Not always. Like, I'm quite happy. I think because we are out all the time and we do everything that we do, sometimes you just like a day off and a day to chill, a day to relax and a day to unwind and a day to recover sometimes after you've been out and done. a stint of 7 weddings over 4 days or something, you know. But it's amazing, like it's brilliant. But it's just a case that yeah. So I think I am an extrovert. I'm definitely more extroverted than Connie. Do you know what I mean? It's just sometimes like I can. Her social battery drains, and she's like, right, that's enough. Like I'm happy not to see anyone for a few days.
Hmm.
Whereas I'm like, I'm always still happy to see people. But could I go out and also extrovert doesn't always mean I'm necessarily high wired. Like I'm always like super enthusiastic. I think I'm enthusiastic when I need to be, and I'm enthusiastic about this all the time whenever
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
next to
yeah.
talking about shades of sax and stuff. So much so that but that's the only thing possible that sometimes with Connie and us. Where
Hmm.
sometimes Connie's like, right, that's enough shades time. It's us time.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes you've got to step away. Hence why we've kind of got this room here today and a couple other things. It's kind of like separating it. You still need to have that separation
yeah,
between home
yes,
and work of sorts. Although
yeah.
it doesn't feel like work to me, it is work.
It is,
Do you
yeah,
know?
100%. And I think like being able to have that space that you've got, so you do need the separation because one thing that I find difficult, well, the one thing that makes it easier for me is that when I'm with the kids, I have this sort of thing of my phone goes off, like the inquiries, like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what's going on. When I'm with them, I don't, well, I try my best not to. Sometimes it's not as easy, but I try to not do anything. And then when they've gone to bed or like now they're at school, so I can, do this and crack on with what I'm doing. But when they're there, being present with them at the point is very, very important. And I know some people find that difficult, especially when you're growing your business and growing your brand. You've got to be on top of things, maybe a bit more than others. But having that separation, having that, okay, when I'm in this room or when I'm over there, I'm doing this, I'm on a laptop, I'm chasing the work. But when I'm here, I'm just myself, I'm just being me, I'm doing my cooking, I'm watching my TV, I'm chilling, sort of like thing. Yeah, I think having that separation is important. It's not always easy because obviously we're self-employed, and if the things that we don't do will impact our income and the things that we do will impact our income, so it does make it tricky, but it's something that we have to manage as suppliers, I think.
Yeah. We've started to pull ourselves away. So for example, like if it's meal times, the phones go away.
Hmm.
Like the phones don't come with us to
Good.
have the meal
Hmm. Good.
because that's our own time to speak and sometimes what we do find is sometimes like some sort of aspect of business still makes
Still
its
make
way
into the
around
conversation. Yeah, yeah.
conversation and call it how do we get back here, like get this back out. So that can happen, but we don't have phones and technology around sort of lunch times and breakfast. We have it at the breakfast bar in the kitchen, so it's like
Hmm.
away from the TV,
Yeah.
just stuff like that. But we
Yeah.
find that's been recently helping us. So we'll just have our breakfast, we'll make it in the kitchen, we'll have it there together and kind of talk. But it's also a time where you can like share goals or share ideas that you want to do that day and share a list and be like, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to try and get done. And it's nice that way as well because it doesn't feel like it's, I don't know, like forced upon
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's not taken away from anything other than TV time that will then just re-reward ourselves later on that evening when we've got time together. And it's the same thing where the phone will go away.
Hmm.
You know, so it's just we're definitely getting better at, although it isn't a 9 to 5 job, you do want to work within some sort of time constraints.
Yeah, 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 100%.
Because otherwise it can just run away
It
with
can
you. It
run
can
a
literally be a 24/7 thing.
easy. It's so easy for that to happen. And once
And
again, thinking about the early people, um, that's where it happens. It starts because you're just starting out, so you've got to be on top of things. But there needs to come a point, hopefully, once you've started to build and you're learning and bookings are coming in, where we're not all getting 1,000 inquiries. But you know what I mean? Like when the bookings start to come in, you can then.
listen, touch wood, it keeps
But
coming.
no, I think it's going to continue. Your algorithm is obviously working in your favor, 100, especially over in TikTok. And like I said, going back to it, I think that's really important to hear because I you're the first one I've heard that's telling me that much volume. Maybe it's because I speak to more maybe DJs, maybe. But I've started to see it increase, but I've never heard the stats that you've kind of just put across.
I mean, the only thing is just trying to direct it at the right clientele all the time. So
Mm.
ours, we still get things, not in a bad way. We still get things for like a huge, wide variety of events, right? But it's just, I do feel like, especially as we're coming into this year, more and more we're homing in on the right couples.
Yeah, the
I mean,
right
it's
clients.
getting a bit, and we're feeling bad for it as well. Where the sense of like we turned down roads earlier on this morning, like we just can't go. We're
Hmm.
like booked, we can't go and do that wedding, or can't go and do some amazing opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I do think that it'll hopefully turn over as we go into 2027 and 2028.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like we're going the right direction, and we know what we have to do to go in the direction we'd like to.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just invest in the time in doing that as well, you know. So
Yeah, no, man. Well,
yeah.
glad to hear that stuff. Glad to hear that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Shades, man. Bro, thank you so much, man, for joining me on
It's
today's.
been a pleasure.
But it has been literally been just easy, well-chilled conversation. I love your transparency. I love your success, man. Watching someone like yourself do well and even hearing some of the things that's going for you now. Like, I'm truly happy for you, bro. Like, when I see someone who's passionate about what they do, who loves what they do, you don't... And another thing is that you don't... And this is when I was combing you online, not even now talking to you now, I feel like I know even more. But looking at you online, you don't have an ego. Like, you don't come, even though you've got the shiny jacket and the glasses and it's a very strong look, you don't have this sort of like, it's all about me and I'm the best type thing. You're very like a laid back, fun type of guy that wants to come and give, you know, great.
That's nice to hear.
No,
man.
seriously,
nice.
You can see it. You can see it.
I mean, egos get in the way, don't they? They really do. We've all met people that have an ego or someone. That
Yeah.
It just hinders so much and gets in the way of so much. So
yeah, leaving it at the door is the best way. Leave that at the door. Leave it at the door. Leave it at the door, man.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah. No, thank you very much.
No, man. Well, thank you for coming in. We're definitely going to have to get you on again because I know you got a lot of things that are going to be happening this year that we're going to have to come and pick your brains a little bit more to see what's going on behind the shades of Sax, and obviously see how the brand is going to keep on going. So, guys, make sure you head into the description, give Shades of Sax a follow if you want to see energy in its rawest form. This guy is, and another thing, Shades, is the sweating. There was that video. Sorry, I need.
Oh,
there's that video.
We've got a fan. I have 2 fans, and it's still not enough. I'm still dripping. And the other thing is, what I'm finding is everyone, when I'm laying out the fans, these giant fans, they're like industrial fans. All the couples and the guests are using it, so I'm like, I can't even use my own
I can't even get it. These are like, oh yeah, I need it as well.
Is dancing so much and sweating so much. They're all about these fans. Like, can't even use my own things.
There's that one. There's another video on your social where you've got the voice note from the client and you're showing the event. I think you're abroad.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, everyone was talking about the sax, and she actually mentioned what they said is that like he was sweating, but he carried on going for it. Yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
And that's when, you know, that's an authentic like that was such an authentic voice note.
Yeah,
she
it was lovely.
Yeah.
I know the one you mean. Yeah, with Haley and Chris. It was really nice. We've got a couple more. We've actually started to reach out because we're like, listen, you know, because of course they give you all these this amazing feedback over the phone, and then of course it's not captured.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you re-say all that
in a voice note? Yeah.
Audio? So we've asked a couple of people to do that, and there's a couple coming in recently, so there'll be a couple more videos.
Yeah, I think that's
really authentic.
That's
feedback.
And I haven't seen content like that. I like the idea of like what you're doing. You've got, so instead of having the music and what's going on, it's kind of like not a silent video, but it's the woman talking about her wedding while you're showing the wedding and she's saying about how you made her feel. I think that's a really good idea in terms of content, man. Really, really nice, sharp stuff. So
different.
Yeah, different, fresh and focused. How we like it.
Fresh.
So, guys, man, make sure you head over to the description. Go and check out Shades of Sax. He is killing it in the game. Love the energy. And once again, I'm going to make it my mission to get me, Shades of Sax, and Christix on a booking.
Gotta happen. Let's do it.
Bro,
let's do it.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be so insane. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today, man. It's been really, it's been a pleasure. It's definitely been a pleasure.
Likewise, my friend. Take care.
Take care, man. All right, guys, I'm going to catch you guys same time, same place next week. If you've made it to this far into the podcast, make sure you head into the description and say made it, because that means 2 things. Not only are you going to make it in life, you're someone who sees things through, but also you've made it to the end of the podcast and you got some gems and some tips. And there'll be some inspiration, education, and all that type of good stuff. But other than that, guys, make sure, big shout out to all my patrons that are supporting the channel as well. I need to big you lot up. If you lot wasn't here, we wouldn't have this. Look at this. I got my little logo on my microphone now. It's these little things that help. So this is a community.
Nice,
yeah, man, this is cool.
It goes a long way.
Yeah,
it goes
a long way. All those little supports go a long way. So keep supporting, keep sharing, and we'll keep bringing these amazing episodes. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you same time, same place next week on the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Cheers.